Tim Metcalfe is playing with fire and he doesn't even see the smoke. Tim's unexpected reunion with Tricia Pinkerton looked, at first glance, like harmless nostalgia, a chance pick-up on a cab shift, a pleasant chat that stretched into an evening of catching up. But the moment Tim told Sally he'd spent their anniversary with an old flame, the mood curdled. I think that was our first clue. Tim framed the past as romance because that's the only way he's ever been able to live with it. This moment shows how memory can soften the edges of harm until it looks like a love story. When Brian Packham clocked the age gap, Tim was 14. Tricia was 20. He didn't mince words. Grooming. Tim bristled, instinctively leaping to Tricia's defense. It's clear that denial isn't stubbornness, it's armor. If Tim admits what happened, the story that shaped his adolescence collapses. And with it his sense of self. Sally, sharper than anyone, sees the bigger picture. She isn't simply jealous, she's frightened. The sofa banishment wasn't punishment, it was a boundary. I think Sally knows that if Tim keeps rewriting history to protect the past, he might end up sacrificing their present. What followed was painfully ordinary, and that's what makes it so real. Tim doom scrolling Tricia's socials. Sally catching the open screen. The defensive snap of change the record. It's the posture of a man caught between two realities, the warm blur of a first girlfriend and the cold fact of a child exploited by an adult. This moment shows how shame can masquerade as loyalty to the very person who caused the wound. And then Corrie laid the perfect mirror in his path. Will Driscoll. Will thinks he's in a relationship with his former coach. Megan a dynamic humming with all the classic grooming beats: secrecy, flattery, the illusion of choice, the careful isolating of a teenager from the adults who'd protect him. As Will's story deepens, I think Tim will start to hear his own past in someone else's present, the language of I wanted it. It felt special. It was different, and the penny will drop with a thud. This moment shows how protecting someone else can become an act of self-rescue. Sally's strategy will be steadiness and compassion. Brian's will be blunt truth. Both matter, but it may take Will's unfolding ordeal to pierce Tim's armor. Imagine Tim stepping in to shield Will, saying out loud what he can't yet bear to say about himself. That could be the pivot, the first time he names it. The first time he lets teenage Tim off the hook. There's a risk, though, and it's immediate. Obsession can wear the costume of closure. Late night scrolling, soft focus memories, a just checking in message. The more Tim toys with the past, the further he drifts from Sally, and the easier it is for Tricia to reassert control. If Tricia senses the door is ajar, she'll push it. And if Megan and Will's situation blows up publicly, Tim won't be able to hide behind "it was different back then" any longer. I think that collision course is exactly what Corrie is engineering, two stories converging to force a reckoning. What would healing even look like here? First, acknowledgement, not as a headline but as a quiet truth Tim says to Sally and to himself. Then boundaries, blocking Tricia, stopping the digital rubbernecking, choosing transparency at home. And most importantly, empathy turned outward to Will. If Tim channels his confusion into advocacy, he can transform shame into purpose. This moment shows that the bravest thing Tim could do is admit he was a child who wasn't given a choice. For Sally, the job is heartbreakingly familiar, loving someone while they learn to love themselves without the lie. She'll keep pushing, but she'll also know when to stop pushing. Because Tim must walk through this particular door on his own 2 feet. And that's the sting. If he doesn't, their marriage will keep absorbing the cost. So how long until Tim admits he was abused? Not long. If Will's storyline runs alongside his, the second Tim recognizes Megan's playbook, he'll see Tricia's and the ground will shift. The question then isn't whether he'll face the truth, but whether he and Sally can survive the shockwave together. When that moment comes, and it will Tim cling to the lie that keeps him numb? Or choose the truth that sets him free? And if he chooses truth, can he become the voice that helps stop history repeating on the street he loves?
Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more movie spoilers next week. Goodbye and see you again.